Welcome back, family. Today is day 21 of our What We Eat in a Day videos. If you have not been with us before, I have challenged myself to post one video per day for at least 30 days. So definitely like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, I started my morning off with some yoga and I hydrated with an extra large glass of water because it is a warm one. This whole week has been quite warm. So then my children wanted some quesadillas for breakfast. So unfortunately, we did not have very much cheese left. But actually, I say unfortunately, but for them that's okay because they like very light cheese anyways. So I just put a little mayo on. I put some crystal for my daughters, none for my son, a little nutritional yeast. And then I'm using a mix of Daiya cheese, the newer one, and also some shredded Violife mature cheddar. And then from there on out, it's not a big deal. It's just a quesadilla. So I throw it in the cast iron skillet with butter on both sides and cook them until they're done. My husband was able to finish potting or repotting my tomatoes. I showed him in a previous video and they were outgrowing that small pot we had put them in. So I got a bigger pot and hopefully this will go a lot better. It's my first time growing tomatoes, so this is kind of new for both of us. I think I need to get something for them to climb up as well, but this is a smaller variety tomato. It's the like a grape tomato. Okay, so then for lunch I was going to make some cabbage and potatoes. So I'm doing just a little bit of onion here. I'm doing just a tiny bit because sometimes my kids are iffy about onion. So I'm doing a little onion sliced. I am doing some potatoes there sliced up, and then I'm going to use green cabbage. I'm going to keep the seasonings simple with a little sea salt and pepper. And to my skillet here, I think I have coconut oil in the skillet. So I put the potatoes in and brown those on one side, and then after they get kind of brown there, I put my onions in. And I want my onions to get a little brown as well. And once those are a little bit brown, then I can put the cabbage, the shredded cabbage, on top. And then from there, I put a little bit of water, about a quarter cup of water. I cover it and let it steam only for about a minute, not too long, just for about a minute, and then uncover it and it's done. I'm finishing it with a little bit of forager butter. I did not want to use too much, but I do love a good buttery cabbage. So I just wanted to add a bit. I took it off of the fire, folded in that butter, and then it was ready. I added a little crystal to mine just to kick it up a little bit, but I was surprised my son really enjoyed this. We don't often eat cabbage, but my son really did enjoy this. It was quite tasty. I think I should make cabbage more often. And then I showed this in my previous video as well. Obviously this is not food, but I had showed my succulents, and I finally got around to potting them. My cat had actually knocked them over, so I was forced to repot them. And I just put in a little potting soil. I put them both in there, and then added some stones. I added a polished rose quartz, a little heart stone I had, and this rock I got from one of our Abalone Cove visits. For dinner, I am making a lasagna, and it's going to be gluten-free and soy-free. Usually I make a ricotta from tofu, but I want soy-free and I don't have any almonds. I make a almond ricotta as well. So I'm just going to try this. This was the first time I tried this. I'm using some garbanzo beans, and I'm going to mash those up and add in a little bit of that Violife feta. And that's going to take the place of my ricotta. Now, does it taste exactly like ricotta? Absolutely not, but it has a good texture and it was great in place of it. I add in, when I'm making my ricottas, whether I use tofu or whatever I'm using, I add in olive juice. I like the briny flavor it brings to it, and then onion powder. I am not adding any salt because the olive juice is quite salty, as is that feta cheese. And then I add lots of nutritional yeast. And then mix that up, and that's going to be my ricotta layer. Now, also inside of the lasagna, I'm going to put a little bit of Beyond Burger. And I'm seasoning this with just a little bit of sea salt. It's in the burger patty forms, but I'm going to break it up into a crumble. I'm also going to be layering in some spinach. And I think that's all my 3 layers I have. No, I can never leave well enough alone with jar sauces and things. I always have to add some seasoning. So I'm adding some onion powder and also some oregano powder. Now, layering in these lasagna pieces, I've never used these before. They turned out to be quite good, so I'll use them again. But this was like a puzzle. I did not know how to get these darn things in here. And I always make my lasagna in this pan, but because these are oven ready and you don't cook them first, they're not pliable at all. So it was like putting together a puzzle. But next thing I'm going to do is just going to layer each of my ingredients in there. Next time I make this, I will also use more sauce because I noticed the denseness of the garbanzo bean layer, and also these gluten-free pasta sheets, they soaked up a lot of sauce. So even though I'm putting the spinach on there, I was mindful that it has water in it, so I was like, that'll juice it up a bit, but I needed even, and now I'm scraping them to the side because I remembered my children don't want spinach on theirs. So I just put it to the side, and then their side has no spinach. But I need to put more sauce because all these noodles and that bean mixture really soaks up sauce quite a bit. So I will need more next time. I cover it with foil and then put in a very high oven, about 425 degrees. I don't know how long I cook it, probably about 45 minutes until the noodles are nice and soft. You can see that cheese I used, the feta, kind of just melted into the top there. There's not really a cheesy layer. It kind of melted into the sauce. But this was really good. The family really liked it. So I will make it again just with more sauce. On the side, I did a mixed salad with some baby kale and some iceberg lettuce. And then because we're having the lasagna, I kept it simple for the dressing with a little balsamic vinegar, olive oil, and agave. I may have put a sprinkle of sea salt and pepper. And then for my husband and I, we had some fresh tomatoes. My kids did not. All right, so that is it. Thank you all so much for watching. I cannot believe tomorrow is day 22. I've almost done 30 days of videos. That is crazy. It blows my mind. I'm having a good time doing these videos for you guys. Definitely like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye.